Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. The story you're about to hear could change everything. Shocking new evidence has just emerged in the mysterious death of Yu Menglong. Evidence so powerful, it could rewrite the narrative and finally bring justice to a man millions adored. Stay with us because what comes next might shake the foundations of trust, fame, and truth itself. At the very beginning of this story, the atmosphere is heavy with grief, confusion, and unanswered questions. Just days ago, the entertainment world was shaken when news broke of Yu Menglong's sudden passing. At only 37, he was a figure admired not only for his talent on stage and screen, but also for the warmth he carried into every role and every song. To hear that his life ended in such a tragic fall left audiences stunned, his family devastated, and colleagues unable to grasp the reality. For many, the first explanations offered by officials, that it was simply an accident, a personal tragedy without criminal involvement, felt hollow, almost too neat for a man whose career and life had seemed so full of promise. What makes this moment so gripping is not just the loss of a beloved public figure, but the way contradictions quickly began to surface. Instead of closure, there emerged whispers of details left unsaid, fragments of evidence that did not fit the official narrative. The window mesh torn from its frame, items in his possession that did not belong to him, neighbors reporting unusual sounds before dawn. Each piece unsettled the public and fueled suspicion that something darker had taken place. In the absence of transparency, speculation spread, magnified by the speed of social media and the urgency of collective grief. For Yu's family, the pain was not only personal but also profoundly unjust. Their son's death demanded clarity, not silence. Standing before cameras, they spoke with voices trembling yet determined, refusing to let the story be dismissed or forgotten. Their resolve turned the tragedy into something larger. A confrontation with silence itself, with the tendency of power to conceal rather than reveal. Across the nation, vigils and online movements grew, transforming grief into a demand for truth. This setting is not just the backdrop to a case. It is the pulse of a society caught between sorrow and outrage. The loss of Yu Menglong has become more than a headline. It is now a symbol of questions unanswered, of justice delayed, and of the fragile line between truth and concealment. In this fragile moment, the world holds its breath, wondering not only what happened to Yu, but what his story will ultimately reveal about trust, justice, and the power of voices that refuse to be silenced. The turning point in this case arrived with the revelation of evidence that could no longer be ignored. For days, the public had been left with uncertainty, caught between the official statement of a tragic accident and the persistent feeling that something was not right. Then came reports from within the investigation that shifted the entire narrative. In Yu Menglong's apartment, forensic teams uncovered details that directly challenged the story of a simple fall. A damaged mobile phone, partly destroyed but still carrying fragments of recordings and messages, was retrieved. It was as though his final hours had left behind a faint but undeniable trace, a digital voice reaching out from silence. The possibility that these recordings might contain clues, conversations, confessions, or cries for help instantly captured the imagination of both investigators and the public. Even more disturbing was the scene near the window, the very place where Yu's life ended. Broken glass lay scattered, marked with traces of blood. Beside it were footprints that did not match Yu's own. The implications were chilling. A locked room should have meant solitude, yet the evidence suggested intrusion, struggle, and perhaps betrayal. Instead of a man choosing to end his own life, the picture began to resemble that of someone forced into an ending he did not choose. Every detail seemed to speak in defiance of the initial narrative, and each revelation made silence less tolerable. What gives these discoveries their weight is not only the physical proof they provide, but the way they breathe new life into questions that had nearly been buried. Who else was in that room? Why were these signs overlooked at first? Was it negligence? Or was it deliberate concealment? For the grieving family, these answers matter not just as facts but as fragments of justice, as the only way to honor a life cut short. For fans and citizens watching, the evidence has become a symbol of truth fighting to emerge from the shadows. The discovery of crucial evidence is more than a procedural step in an investigation. It is a spark of hope in the midst of despair, a reminder that even in systems weighed down by secrecy, traces of truth can survive. And if those traces are given the chance to speak fully, they may finally reveal what really happened on that tragic night. And whether Yu Menglong's story will end as a mystery or as a call for justice answered. Among the many unsettling details surrounding Yu Menglong's death, none has sparked more curiosity and debate than the discovery of 2 Rolex watches found inside his belongings. At first glance, this detail might have seemed minor, perhaps even irrelevant, yet its strangeness lingers. These luxury timepieces did not belong to Yu, and no explanation was given as to how they ended up in his possession. Their silent presence has become one of the most perplexing pieces of the puzzle, raising questions not just about ownership, but about motive, influence, and hidden connections. For a man who had built his career on talent and hard work, Yu was never known for flaunting wealth in ways that drew controversy. The sudden appearance of these items felt out of character, almost staged, as if someone wanted them to be found. Were they planted to send a signal, to implicate him in a narrative of excess or theft, or to connect him to someone else entirely? In a world where image is everything, even small details can be weaponized, and these watches, glittering and mysterious, may carry more weight than any headline suggests. Investigators and independent analysts have begun to explore what these objects represent. Some suggest they could belong to an influential figure Yu encountered that night, a person whose presence at the apartment remains unacknowledged. Others argue the watches may have been placed there after his death, part of a deliberate attempt to muddy the waters, to complicate the truth and lead the public astray. If that is the case, then these watches are not just accessories, they are symbols of manipulation, fragments of a story being rewritten in real time. What makes this mystery even more haunting is the silence that surrounds it. No official statement has clarified their origin, no voice has stepped forward to claim them, and yet their value, both material and symbolic, is impossible to ignore. For Yu's family, these unanswered questions deepen the wound, reminding them that every object left behind could hold meaning, every detail could be a clue. For his fans, the watches have become a metaphor for the way power and secrecy can distort reality, creating confusion where there should be clarity. The Rolex mystery revisited is not merely about 2 objects of luxury. It is about what they represent. Hidden ties, possible betrayals, and the shadows of influence that still linger over Yu Menglong's final hours. Until their story is told, the truth itself remains incomplete. Outside their home, Yu's parents stand firm. His father's trembling voice declared, "Too many questions remain unanswered. We will not stop until we know the truth." Their pain has become a rallying cry, not only for justice but for every parent who fears losing a child to secrets and silence. The family has even hired independent experts, whose findings suggest signs of a struggle, injuries that don't align with the fall. Across China, candlelight vigils paint the night with grief. Fans chant, "Justice for Yu Menglong." Hashtags flood social media, uniting millions from Beijing to Seoul, Tokyo, and beyond. What began as whispers in forums has become a thunderous roar, people demanding truth, refusing to let Yu's story fade into silence. Insiders claim surveillance footage near the residence was mysteriously erased within days. Property staff hinted at details that never appeared in official reports. And some of Yu's acquaintances? They vanished from the public eye, refusing to comment. Silence can speak louder than words. Are we witnessing mere negligence, or a deliberate attempt to bury the truth? This case has gone beyond one man's tragedy. It has become a mirror, reflecting cracks in systems meant to protect us. How many other voices have been silenced before reaching the world's ears? How many truths buried under influence and power? Yu Menglong's name now stands as a symbol, not just of what was lost, but of what still can be saved. What's truly remarkable is how this tragedy has inspired action. Human rights advocates, independent journalists, and even fans abroad are beginning to connect, sharing evidence, translations, and timelines. It's as if Yu's story has sparked a global community determined to keep the spotlight on justice. And that collective determination may be the very pressure that forces truth to surface. Was Yu Menglong betrayed by someone he trusted? Was he silenced for uncovering dangerous secrets? Or is there an unseen hand orchestrating every twist? Every hour that passes without clarity deepens the mystery. Yet with each new revelation, hope grows stronger that the truth will finally prevail. Right now, the world waits on the edge of revelation. Will Yu Menglong be exonerated, his name cleared, his truth restored? Or will his death remain another tragedy hidden behind closed doors? One thing is certain: the fight for justice is far from over. Thank you for watching Update X24H. If this story touched you, please hit subscribe, share this video, and join us in following every step of this unfolding journey. Your voice matters, your attention matters, and together, we can ensure Yu Menglong's story is never forgotten.